All right, what's up, guys? So, I ended up finding a guy in Virginia that is kind of wanting the Gen 2 short block transmission and stuff I have down there. Only problem is the shipping's like $800 a piece, so that'd be about $1,600 shipping. Well, I don't know if you follow me any amount of time, y'all know I don't mind driving to get stuff or do stuff. So I pretty much told the guy for the price we agreed on that I'd just take it to him. And it's like a 7-hour trip. So I mean, I've done to Louisiana and back in a day, which was about 18 hours. So it's not too bad. The only thing is right now, the last 2 years I've got away with just recharging my truck because it was slowly leaking. But this year, the evaporator core, it's been leaking for a few years, but it's to the point now where like it leaks overnight. So family generally likes going with me. We like road trips, so I figured even if I was going by myself, but especially if they're going, I'm gonna go ahead and get this dash and everything ripped out today and get this evaporator swapped out, so we'll have some AC. So figured I'd update you guys and maybe show a little bit of the process along the way. It's not gonna be a very fun job, but it's just a matter of doing it. So let's get on it. All right, I learned a long time ago that if you think something's gonna be in your way, just go ahead and move it. So I went ahead and pulled the seats out. I've got the side dash bolts out. I went ahead and pulled the column out. The only thing really left is the 2 bolts in the top of the dash here. And I hadn't even looked. I don't know if there's 1 or 2, but just 1, I think, bolt there. And then the dash should be ready to come out. So all the plastics and stuff, they just, you know, you gotta be careful taking apart, make sure you're kind of doing it in the right sequence. This doesn't seem as bad as the Mustangs as far as what needs to come out first, but overall, this is just more annoying than it is hard. So this is where we're at now. I think I've been working on it for an hour, so that's not too bad. All right, so there's also a bolt in here in the side, and I'm not taking my door off. So basically, I used a 1/4 inch to a 3/8 adapter, and it's a size 8 in there, and broke it with a ratchet. And now I'm going to use my impact to get it out. Yeah, so once I got that side bolt out, and it ended up being a 10, not an 8. And then of course you got to take this trim out, and then you're here. The fun part now is getting the bolts in the firewall. I think there's 2. Once you get those, then everything should kind of come right out. We can replace the evaporator. And I got to break the AC lines as well, so which there shouldn't be any Freon in it because, like I said, it's been leaking. But yeah, more or less, you can't really see it, but there's one of the bolts. And then of course the AC lines, which I think come out right down here, need to break those. Okay, so I finally got that. There's a bolt right here behind like the CCV. Then there's another bolt there, right up in the firewall. That one's pretty easy to get to. And then there's like a nut here. I still gotta take the heater hoses loose, but what was happening is no matter what I did, I couldn't get on that nut. I even taped these wrenches together. Long story short though, as you can see, this 11 is super long, and it was just too long to get in there on my electric ratchet. So I ended up using this 7/16, which is much shorter. And once I did that and got the ratchet on it, it came right off. That's kind of just like a little tip because that's the hardest bolt or nut to get to. So now once I get the heater hoses out, the air box should come out, and it'll kind of be downhill from here, hopefully. All right, so box is out. And there was one more bolt that I forgot to mention, and it's gonna be right here by the AC drain. That's easy to get to. There's this bolt, which is easy to get to. This one's easy to get to, and that's the one that's, you know, kind of annoying. So the rest of them are inside the cab, and of course you see what all needed to come out. See, when I bought this truck, I had some of these actuators sticking, and I went ahead and bought all new ones. So I think when I have it apart, I'm just going to go ahead and toss those in. I mean, I might as well. So. And so I thought about doing a new expansion valve and silica sock for the dryer, but just for time constraints as far as the dryer goes. I didn't want to pull the radiator and all that. And also, this AC actually blows super cold when it's got Freon in it, so I figured I'd save that for another day. It's nothing more than buying 2 cans of Freon and shooting it back up. So, yeah. Man, the thing's super clogged. You can see where the dye has kind of dyed the tape too. So, yep. Alright, so far I've replaced this piece. It did involve taking the lower vent cover off, and then it's got this wire that more or less you just run in there and it controls that. And then, you know, you need this in that slot. So this one more or less controls your vents. And I believe I have 2 more Vallejo actuators for these, and that's what I'll be replacing next. I thought I had both actuators, but I only found this one and that one, which the only thing I ever have any issue with is sometimes when I first start up, it doesn't want to swap. So I think it's mainly that one. Plus, I believe I can get to this one through the dash or through the glove box if in the future I need to replace it. So it's all kind of buttoned back up. That's pretty much it. Now it's time to throw this thing back together. Alright, so I went ahead and popped the vacuum pump on here and sucked it down and then closed those, and it looks like I'm not having any issues with leakage. So I want my system to be good and dry. So what I'm going to do is actually leave the vacuum pump, pull in a vacuum on this while I put the interior back together. Your ambient air temp affects these pressures, but typically you'll want to be somewhere between 30 and 50 on the cold side and 200 to 300 on the high side. This is with 2 cans of Freon. I probably could have afforded to do like another half can, and I may still add it later, because like as long as it's holding pressure, it's not going anywhere. But I do have cold air coming out. I don't smell Freon anymore, so I always just charge it with cans and then kind of go by the pressures here. And again, like I said, it's probably 80 degrees out, so I'd probably like to be closer to 250 and between 30 and 40 on the low side. But nonetheless, I do have cool air, which is obviously the main thing. So now it's just a matter of sticking the console and seats back in here and we're good to go.